Let's bring in South Carolina Republican Senator Lindsey Graham. He just returned from a bipartisan Senate delegation to Israel. Senator, I missed you. I was on the way out as you were on the way in.
Sorry about that. Yeah.
But good to see that you got a look at what's going on the ground there. Yeah. Let me come back here to the Biden administration and previously the Obama administration. They seem to bend over backwards to try to appease Iran, and now that is coming back to bite them in a very sensitive spot. What do you say?
Yeah, I mean, to re-engage Iran now on a nuclear deal would be insane. The Biden administration has misjudged the Iranians. They're not trying to build a peaceful nuclear program. They're trying to build a bomb. Trump had them in a corner. Trump had them diminished. Biden came in and quickly gave them billions of dollars. That's increased their ability to kill Israelis and us. So it was a bad idea to give the Ayatollah any money. The Ayatollah is a religious Nazi. He would get a bomb. If he had a bomb, he would use it.
So, Senator, we've got what's going on in Israel and Iran backing Hamas. And then there's in Lebanon with Iran backing Hezbollah. And then there's what's going on in Syria and in Iraq. I want to put up this this graphic on the screen here about attacks against American interests in the region. These are being conducted by other Iranian proxies at the Al Tanf garrison, the Al Assad air base, the Baghdad International Airport. At least 13 attacks against American interests in the Middle East. More than a couple of dozen Americans injured. One died from a heart attack running to a bomb shelter. And here's what Biden said yesterday with the Australian Prime Minister to Iran. Listen here.
My warning to the Ayatollah was that if they continue to move against those troops, we will respond. And he should be prepared.
He says if they move, if the Ayatollah moves against the troops, we will respond. They've already moved against these troops. Why aren't we responding?
Well, it's just this. We've lost deterrence. Trump had Iran afraid of America. Now we seem to be afraid of the Iranians. Nothing is happening without Iranian support. This action by Hamas was to just stop the reconciliation process between Saudi Arabia and Israel, which is a nightmare for Iran. None of these proxies in Syria, Iraq could survive without Iran. So we've lost deterrence. Here's what I would do if I were president. I would tell the Iranians, if there's one more attack on American troops in Syria and Iraq, we're coming after you. If Hezbollah goes into the north to create a second front in Israel, we're coming after you, starting with your oil fields. If they believe that, they would not do this.
So at the same time, now we've got reporting in the Wall Street Journal from yesterday that some 500 Hamas terrorists were in Iran and also Palestinian Islamic Jihad training with the Al-Quds Force, the Islamic Revolutionary Guard Corps. Rear Admiral Daniel Hagari of the IDF said in the article in the Wall Street Journal, quote, before the war, Iran directly assisted Hamas with money, training, and weapons and technological know-how. Even now, Iran is helping Hamas with intelligence. Yet President Biden continues to say, oh, well, there's no direct link between Iran and what happened on October the 7th. What do you say?
This is laughable to believe that Hamas planned this for a year, maybe 2,000 to 3,000 people involved, and Iran didn't know about it. That's laughable to me. The Houthis have shot missiles at Israel. I know Iran's behind that. So the idea that Hamas did this without the Ayatollah knowing it, or he read about it in the paper, saw it on TV, is laughable. The great Satan in the world is Iran. It's not Israel. It's not the United States. We've lost deterrence against the Iranians. I am supporting President Biden the best I can. But you need to make it clear, Mr. President, that Iran is going to be a target by the U.S. military if they escalate in Israel or continue to attack our troops. We will be behind you, Mr. President, if you will do that. Those in the field in Syria and Iraq deserve a commander-in-chief who has their back. President Biden, up your game when it comes to deterring Iran before it's too late.
Senator, one quick question, if I could, on Jack Lew, the president's nominee to be the U.S. ambassador to Israel. He was voted out of committee. He'll go to a full vote in the Senate. Israel says we need to have an American ambassador there. The U.S. believes the same thing. Where do you come down on him?
Well, we need an ambassador to Israel, and I've known Mr. Lew for a while. I'm thinking about it, but at the end of the day, we do need an ambassador, and I can understand some of the problems with Mr. Lew, but I'll get back with you about that. But I just got back from Israel. They're in the fight for their lives. Hamas is a religious Nazis. They're not trying to get a better deal for the Palestinians. They're trying to kill all the Jews. And Iran is a religious theocracy that has to be dealt with through force and deterrence, not appeasement. We've appeased Iran too long.
All right. Senator Lindsey Graham of the great state of South Carolina, good to talk with you. Thank you, Senator. Appreciate it. Senator?